Welcome to the Rockin Rich Lynch on the Radio Show. I'm your host, Rockin Rich Lynch, inviting you to join me as we discover great new music by bands and artists from around the world. With interviews, music news and reviews, great prizes, and a whole lot more. Visit us online today at soundpress.net for great music promotion and publicity. Hi, this is Rockin Rich Lynch, and you're listening to the very best of Rockin Rich Lynch on the radio. We recently moved our operations from the New York, New Jersey market to Nashville, Tennessee, and we are now looking for a production and broadcast partner in the region to take the radio show to new heights. If you're a band, musician, solo act, or represent a musical project in any genre, please visit soundpress.net and our new site, musiccitynashville.net, to learn how we can help get your message to the world. Now, please enjoy this great interview from our archives. The gentleman we're talking to today has served the Prince of Darkness for the better part of 2 decades as bandmate and lead guitarist. He's founded and fronted his own hard rock band, Black Label Society, and now he's traded in his power chords for the mighty power of the pen, authoring an entertaining behind-the-scenes look at his life in the music business called Bringing Metal to the Children. We bring you today the now newly clean and sober ZAKK WYLDE. ZAKK, welcome to the program.
Well, thank you very much, Father Rich. But the thing is, I'm not sober. I'm extremely high on life. So.
Well, that's good. That's the benefit, right, ZAKK? You certainly, if anyone who reads your book, they're going to know that you had your share of partying like a madman for all those years.
Oh. You did want a rock and roll band. You got one.
But that being said, can you embrace this new chapter in your life and, be thankful for the clear-headedness that you must have really for the first time in your adult life?
Well, no. The whole thing is, as far as like all the partying goes and everything like that, all the Animal House days and everything like that with Black Label, trust me. It really was Delta. It was Animal House. The thing is, I remember making all the records, and I remember what I did last night. Whatever, as insane and well above the Berserker radar we'd get, whatever shoot and stab bar we'd end up going into, it was just like, and whatever chaos ensued. I always remember we had to answer the bell the next day, but it's just like, somebody asked me, they go, oh, do you remember, ZAKK, does it affect the way you write or you play now? Where I go, well, dude, it's going to affect anybody who gets on stage. If you're like beyond blast and you had like 8 bottles of Crown and, 15 cases of Beck's before you go up on stage, yeah, of course it's gonna, you're gonna have trouble trying to crawl to the bathroom, let alone do it big. But but the whole thing is, when we were in the studio, I never was into downing and doing drinking contests. I just, we'd all just be swigging beers, just like I'm drinking coffee or something like that. So it's just like chilling, practicing, jamming, or when we're in the studio, we'd be drinking beer all day, or the guys would be hanging. But the only time I'd ever get silly is at the end of the night we just wanted to play stuff with the gang, or we'd have friends coming over or whatever. But while we were recording though, it was like, or writing, it was like, you're just chilling out having a couple cocktails. It wasn't anybody just blasted beyond oblivion. Obviously when you're sitting around and you come up with 20 ideas when you're beyond hammered, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 of them might be a little bit slightly legit, but then you look back on the other 18 ideas and it's just like, I think we'll just put those over to the side.
ZAKK, would you say it was to on the road? Was it to the point of excess that you were lucky to have made it through?
No, I think I think if you ask any band, with Father, with St. Dime band over there, it was never drinking to the point where you're depressed or you're bummed. It's just like we had a sports bar, we had a Hooters, and we're going to watch it. My beloved Yankees are playing right now. Just watching a game. I'd be sitting drinking beers and practicing while, if I'm at the compound or if I was in the submarine, the tour bus, if we had satellite TV, and I'd just be watching the game and we got beer on the bus, I'm just chilling, drinking beers and watching the game and practicing. So, but no, obviously, yeah, but it was always in the intent of having a good time. It was just like everybody, like I said, it was complete Animal House all the time. And, we prided ourselves on, no matter how banged up you got the night before, you got to answer the bell the next day, no matter what it is you got to do, whether it's interviews or we got to do on the radio at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It doesn't matter. You just answer the bell. If you're going to drink like a Marine, act like a Marine, get up and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So, that was our protocol. But Well, I just tell anybody, and it's a funny thing about, when anybody asks me, oh, how'd you stop drinking or this and that, I go, well, first of all, the doctor told me, he goes, well, Zach, he goes, well, you can either take what's behind door number one, you can keep drinking it while you're on this blood thinners, and you pretty much, it'll be the last time you're going to a Hooters to watch the Pacquiao fight or whatever you idiots are going to do, and you're rolling above the berserker radar. It'll probably be the last time you actually go out to a Hooters, so he goes, or you can choose what's behind door number two and, just have a good time and do what you want to do, but you gotta cut out the sauce. So I'm just like, all right, well, that's an easy decision. So I mean, but the whole thing is, I just tell anybody there's nothing wrong with having a good time, but the whole thing is, the minute it starts getting in the way of you ruling the world, or it starts turning into a pain in the ass, that's when you just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and go, hey, it's time to put the brakes on this thing, man. It's just like anything. So, but that's the only thing, man. I mean, but.
Zach, you're sounding great right now. You got a great attitude about all that. Let me give the websites ZAKKWYLDE.com and BlackLabelSociety.com. Bringing Metal to the Children is in store April 2012 from William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishing. I spent the last 2.5 days with it, Zach. Enjoyed the whole thing. Read the whole book. How long did the process of Bringing Metal to the Children take? And did you have any books or authors that you looked to for inspiration as your volume came together?
Well, I mean, when me and Eric were, talking about doing the book, I mean, basically, well, you've read it. So, I mean, the whole thing is, it's just about talking about, it would be like us at a pub just talking about how ridiculous the music business is and just the comedy of it all, where you just think, heck, I mean, I wrote the book, it's just like, yeah, you got your posters of Jimmy Page up on the wall, Hendrix, Eddie and Randy and all your favorite bands, Zeppelin, Sabbath, everything like that. You practice till your fingers bleed. But then aside of that, once you get out there, I mean, it's just all that just goes straight down the toilet because it's one rude wake-up call, man. Like one after the other, where you go, well, nobody told me about this. So I mean, but that's. I think any band will tell you. I mean, any band can write one of these books because they've got their own stories, own Seinfeld on steroid stories, where you go, like all the episodes in Seinfeld or Larry David, any of that stuff. I'm sure it's just like, oh, wow, where'd you guys write that one? It's like, we didn't write any of these. These actually happened. Oh, we might have elaborated on some of them, but these were all true stories, man. I mean, it's just like, so, I mean, that's basically where the book came about. That's why it's not an autobiography. I mean, but obviously the stories are sad but true. I wish I was making these stories up, but I mean, that's the way it is. But I mean, like I was saying, with the music business or entertainment business in general, there is no, you don't have to go to college to get a degree in any of these things, like to become a manager or anything. There really is no, you just make it up as you're going along. That's why there was never any rules or anything like that. I mean, like, when Zeppelin was going around and then like when Elvis was around, I mean, it's just like, they're just making it up on the fly, what the business deals are, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I mean, with Ray Charles, since he was blind, what he would do is he'd have his promoters actually pay him in $1 bills. You know what I mean? Which only makes sense. It's like, oh, you're going to pay me $100? I want 100. I want to feel 100. I want to be able to hold $100 bills.
Right.
Because I don't know what you handed me. Because I'm sure a couple times you got handed like, $5 bills, and they explained to him it was 20s or whatever, and it's just like in a bunch of 10s or whatever. And he goes, hey, look at, I got $100. They go, dude, you got $5 in your hand. And it's just like, that's what I'm saying, where it's just like, okay, well, all right, well, they got me this time. I mean, I got to be an idiot if I continue to let this happen. But I mean, it's just like, right, nobody ever did that. And he goes, oh yeah, like a bunch of times. So I had to put the brakes on that one. But I mean, the whole thing is, that's where these ridiculous stories come in. I was sitting around just drinking beers with me and Barry. I was just going to do it. We're going to write a book about this like ridiculous stuff. So that's why it's just called The Sacred Parchment of Stupidity. Is bringing metal to the children. Yeah,
but Zach, I actually think it's more than that, because I read a lot of books about finding success and the power of positive thinking. And if the readers can kind of get through, some of the vile sections and maybe some of the excessive vulgarity, your book really reads like a self-help manual and a guide to the power of perseverance and overcoming.
Well, I mean, that's what I always tell everybody with Black Label, the SDMF, strength, determination, merciless forever. I mean, it's more of a mentality than it is a band. You know what I mean? So I mean, and it's the truth. And I'm just saying, because you get run over so many times, and it's just like, or it turns into, I thought I was friends with that guy. I can't believe he did that to me. You know, I mean, and but that's just business, man, in general. And I always tell other kids when they go, man, I can't believe we got screwed over. I go, well, the day that you're able to separate being friends with somebody and business, then you'll understand. I said, but it's crazy because when you just think it's like all they want to do is practice all day, and it's all about the music and everything like that. It's just like there's one guy just made this reference. He goes, it's called the music business, and if you understand, the word business is a lot bigger than the word music.
Right.
And it's the truth. And as much as you want to just go, yeah, of course. I mean, without the music, there is nothing. But the whole thing is, it's just like, because I always tell kids, I go, well, being in a rock band and everything like that, you should approach it like the business side is no different than, if you embrace it, then us opening up a lemonade stand and how we can make it the most popular lemonade stand on the block, or we open up a hamburger joint, and next thing you know, it's as big as McDonald's. Once you embrace it, and then you have fun with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I look back on it, and I'm like, all the years going to high school. I know how to read, I know how to write, I know how to add and subtract. The whole thing is, if I really want to get into other things, all I have to do is study about them and read about them and learn about it. But as far as doing transactions and stuff like that, trigonometry and all this other crazy stuff, and if I want to be a chemical engineer, then I'll go to school and learn how to do that. But the whole thing is, it's just like, I know enough now, whereas I want to play music for the rest of my life. So I'd rather be, if I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to school until 2 in the afternoon, I'd much rather be flipping burgers and making money so I can buy Les Pauls, buy Marshalls, and then we could save up for a band, and then we could put the band on the road and start touring. I know what I want to do with my life.
Right.
I don't want to be a chemical engineer. I want to play in a band, and I want to do music for them.
Zach.
So, and that's why I was telling them. I go, just focus on what it is you want to do, man. But with the books, really about, like I said, like somebody, because I always get asked advice or whatever. It's just like, well, Zach, you got any advice for my kid, or like I'm starting a band or whatever. It's just like, you get asked that all the time, and then me and Eric, I was sitting there, I go, dude, let's just write in there too, like what I know now. Now that I'm 45, like if I was 18 years old again, and I never had, the good fortune and the good Lord didn't bless me with the opportunity to play with the boss, to play with Oz, and have that exposure. I said, if I never had that opportunity at 19 years old, like if I was 18 and we had the guys, and we want to be, the next, like all our heroes, like Zeppelin and Sabbath, and all the bands that we loved, and it's just like, where you're actually making a living playing music, it's just like what I would do, so I said, well, let's put that, aside of all the comedy and the George Carlinisms that are in the book of the stupidity, it's just like, just put a little bit of advice in there where somebody would just read and go, oh, well, it's like, dude, I've tried this. Well, let me just put a section in there. I go, Eric, we have to put a section of how not to make it in the music.
Yeah.
Because I've gone down this road, and trust me, you don't want to go there.
Well, Zach, you offered a couple of your acronyms, which I'm calling Zackronyms. You mentioned SDMF, which is Strength, Determination, Merciless Forever. You had another one, GIFD. Do you have more of these that you run your life with?
Yeah, well then and then you got the black label R's. You know what I mean? The whole thing is, revenge, retaliation, and redemption. The whole thing is, but you get it on yourself. It's just like, the whole thing is, all right, we failed. You just seek revenge on your failures. You know what I mean? All right, well, how can we succeed? You know what I mean? So you got the revenge and the retaliation. All right, well, we ain't going to do that. And then the redemption is the prize at the end of the day. Good, we did it, man. We succeeded. So, the whole thing is, that's the way you have to look at things like that, man. Because you get pummeled so much. Because it's real easy to just quit. But, like John Elway is a perfect example. He lost 3 times, man. First off, to get to the big dance one time is one thing. But to get there 3 times, and actually each loss was more pummeling than the one before. I'm sure if we were buddies with John, we'd be sitting at a bar with him and go, you know what, man, I'm just not cut out for this, dude. I don't even want to look at a football ever again in my life. I go, but at the end of the day, John, you got to be in it to win it. You can't win the $600 million lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Right. Finished off his career on a high point. Zach,
we can fix this. All right, we lost. So let's see how we can fix it. Instead of sitting here talking about and pointing fingers and blaming everybody why we lost. Let's figure out how we can win this thing. What do we need? We need an offensive line. We need a running back. We need this. We need that. All right, let's fix everything. And then, like, next year, we'll just erase this whole thing. Of course, this is a scar that's never going to go away. But, I mean, we can't fix that. But the whole thing is the way we can fix it is by winning. And I'm just saying, like, you know, if Nirvana would have quit after the Bleach album and go, oh, I guess we ain't cut out for this, then the Nevermind album would have never happened. You know, so, I mean, they would have never had that. So, I mean, it's just like, you know, you see any of these bands, if you don't have that overnight success, you just got to keep plowing ahead, though.
Right. That's good advice, Zach. That's what I'm doing here on the radio show. I've been at this for 10 years on the podcast. I do it out of my house. It's not real. It's international. I've had Yoko Ono on my show, Meatloaf, Donovan, but I'm still just working out of my house. Now I'm talking to you, Zakk Wylde, and I'm plugging away at it. But I'm taking your advice, brother.
No, the show may be canceled right after this episode.
No. But listen, I just got a couple more for you because I know you're doing the gauntlet today for press for the great Bringing Metal to the Children book out April 2012 from William Morrow, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishing. Zach, I had tickets in my hand to see Ozzy in the Blizzard of Oz in April of 1982. With Randy Rhoads. We know that didn't happen. Ultimately, I got to see Ozzy finally on June 5th, 1989 with you in the band. Have you ever considered, what your career would have been all about if Randy never got in the plane that day?
Well, maybe hopefully I would have been able to take some guitar lessons. I would have flown out to Musonia or something like that on his breaks. He was giving guitar lessons.
Last question, you got your guys.
You know? But no, I mean, Randy, you know, I mean, dude, such a huge influence and inspiration. I mean, you know, and he always will be. That's why I always said with Oz, it's with all the guitar players I've played with Oz. I mean, I always say, could being a Yankee fan, it's the house that Ruth built, it's the house that Rhoads built. And he's the Babe Ruth of the whole thing, man. You know, so it's because he wrote the music and what's expected out of an Ozzy guitar player. You know what I mean?
Well, Zach, I know this is my last question. What did you learn from working and touring with Ozzy all these years that helped you as a front man and leader of Black Label Society?
Well, no, I mean, it's just, you know, the way I always say it, it's just like, what did my dad teach me? What did Oz teach me? And everything like that. You know, I mean, we talk about this, like, you know, you can't instill a work ethic in somebody. I mean, that's why I always say, lions hang out with lions. That's it. I mean, all the guys that I roll with, I don't have to ask them to, like, after they get done eating, to put their dirty plates in the dishwasher or put their stuff in the garbage. You just know. Just do it. You see the garbage is full, bring the garbage out, man. I mean, it's just like, you know, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't work hard. And and if you don't, then get off the bus because you're not wanted here, man.
All right, Zach. So great talking to you, fellow New Jerseyan. All right, man. Thank you so much. The Viking from the land of Bruce Springsteen and Bon Jovi, Zakk Wylde himself on the show today. Coming to Europe for the European Summer Tour. All your European fans will be looking for you in May and June. And great luck with the book, Zach.
Oh, I appreciate it, brother. You take care of yourself, bud.
Thanks for listening to the Rockin' Rich Lynch on the Radio Show, part of the SoundPress.net radio network. Remember, if you're a band or artist looking for promotion, or if you'd like to sponsor this show or add this program to your station, please get in touch with us today at SoundPress.net.